Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Fitchburg Historical Society, you've got Catherine Schneider. Catherine, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. Doing great, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
Today, we're going to do something that has never been done on this show. I am going to turn things over to you, and you're going to interview me, which you're like, oh gosh, what does this guy have to say? But yeah, tell us what you have in mind.
Well, thank you, Jeremy, so much. The intention of asking you to be interviewed was, as the State Historical Society has done, Wisconsin State Historical Society has indicated that with the pandemic, it is good to be saving the stories of what's been going on in our areas due to the pandemic. How has that changed life? What has it been for our people and our institutions? And so, starting with you, Jeremy, and FACTv, how that has impacted your lives, the way you've done your work. How has that been for you folks walking through this pandemic? And then hopefully this will be the first of a number of interviews that we'll be able to do in partnership with FACTv and Talking Fitchburg's people and institutions, and how we work and do government, operate our businesses now, and live our lives, to just delve into that more deeply. So these are historic times, and I think we feel called upon as the Fitchburg Historical Society to document for future generations how COVID has transformed our lives and how we're responding to its challenges. So Jeremy, back in March, when we began to shut down across Wisconsin and truly the whole nation, shutting down due to COVID, how were FACTv's day-to-day operations of providing local news at Fitchburg impacted for you?
Yeah, it was interesting. I'll give you that. The whole thing has been very interesting, and we're lucky. We're lucky because the way we run our operation, we quickly realized that going into that weekend, so the weekend that we knew the governor was making an announcement, to potentially close things down, pull things back a little bit. Our staff and I, kind of developed an emergency broadcast operation going into that weekend. Our main things, for people who may not know, never seen the show, in FACTv is our local community media station here in Fitchburg, and we provide city government coverage of government meetings. So we cover all the meetings, broadcast them online, make available for residents. And then we have Talking Fitchburg, our daily newscast, which kind of highlights what's happening in our community, keeping up to date with the latest news on a daily basis. And because we had that in place, we kind of just pulled back on what we were doing with Talking Fitchburg. We stopped the show Talking Fitchburg, but we were also doing news updates every day, twice a day. And we decided, well, we can do one news update a day, put out the information as it was coming in. We asked all of our guests to say, we're putting you on hold for a little bit as we work through the challenges of moving out. But in that next week, things changed dramatically in our department and helping others, certainly.
Yes, and I know you mentioned for the government in terms of recording all the meetings and things that were going on in terms of government and how you assisted in that area. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was determined by the administration and the mayor that City Hall would be closed eventually, and that all of non-essential meetings would be stopped at that point. So, we cover every meeting, committee, you name it. It's covered by FACTv. And so slowing that operation down first to next to nothing. So only real important items that had to get done, would come together for a meeting, and trying to figure out the limitations of having people come in. So what's been nice is the past city councils, the mayors, administration, everything has really been a partner with FACTv all these years. So in the last 10 years I've been here, we've been providing, the best help we can in a lot of different areas, but government meetings has been our #1 priority. And so we were already established in the live streaming realm. We broadcast out on a lot of different places. One of my goals is to be, everywhere that you can get a signal, whether it's online, cable TV, wherever that is. We wanted to be there. And we actually started live streaming in 2010. And a lot of people don't know that we had been doing it for so long. So to a lot of governments weren't even broadcasting any meetings, right? And you hear the term Zoom, or whatever live streaming platform that you have out there. Clearly Zoom took a hold really fast, and Zoom allows people to come together, chat in real time, and you can stream that at the same time. Well, we were already streaming our meetings, so our only issue was how do we bring all these people together and then funnel it through our system out to the residents. So that was the goal for the first month, is investigating all of these in a very, and I shouldn't even say month, I mean, in a very limited amount of weeks. My staff was right there testing all these different streaming platforms, and at the same time we're having internal meetings. We have staff meetings internally. That's where we were testing a lot of these things for all the staff. And really becoming that point of contact for, all right, we got to do a meeting. We're going to have FACTv in it, whether it's broadcasted live or bringing these people in. That was the job. And then just keep evaluating that as well. We hit the 6-month point, and Scott, our assistant manager in FACTv, did a write-up, sent it out to staff and the council to give them an idea of like, well, here's been the last 6 months of, here's the best practices, and try to be, best audio, best video, best, as we all dive into this and learn. But definitely has changed the world as we know it for meetings. And I suspect, and we're preparing ourselves for a long haul of having to bring people in remotely to future meetings.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you were really well positioned to handle this change in terms of the technology that you had available and were already using with live streaming and Zoom. Perhaps even more teaching others on the city staff how to use it, how to make use of it, and become comfortable with it. How did your staff on FACTv need to change the way you maybe thought about technical aspects? Were there any real challenges there, and how you had to adapt? Anything else that you want to share about that?
Yeah, in fact, Andrew, who's monitoring this right now, I mean, he's really been our guru in the Zoom platform, if you will. Scott is has always been in charge of dealing with the meetings at night, and it actually takes 2 staff people right now. We normally do our meetings with 1 staff person, and that's running the video, audio, streaming, all of it. It all is done with 1 person. With this, we need somebody to interact in the Zoom side of things, plus still do our normal job of covering the meeting. So it's been quite the turn for us. And that too, in the beginning, we put all of our resources into making sure that the Zoom worked well. So we have 5 total staff in our department, 3 full-time, 2 part-time. And when meetings weren't on, we were making sure behind the scenes that we were doing anything and everything to make sure that city meetings would go on as planned. We also had to move, the technology for us is all in the council chambers. So if you haven't noticed in the last 6 months, almost all of our meetings now are done through the council chambers, and there's a reason for that. That's from behind the scenes standpoint, we have the most technology invested into that space. Also, it's a big space to social distance. So it turned out that our council chambers became this like one-stop shop for all meetings, but that changes for staff who are used to doing meetings on let's say a Monday night at 5 p.m., 5:30, you got Public Works, and then you got RCC following that. Staff had to make adjustments, not just in our department, but in all departments to meet that need of, well, we've got the 1 space. We want to make sure people can still come in. They have a right to come in, be part of the meeting in person. But when they're there, they got to social distance. We got to make sure that they're safe, do all of what we can. And then again, on the technology side, we've got to make sure we're bringing in everybody who can be in the meeting, plus, provide that access, as it were, out there. And like I said, it's awesome that we had the investment of all these years, with the past councils to invest in FACTv the way they have. It really paid off, like you said, here in the last 6 months. We were really able to make it look seamless, we think, but still make it work in each and every day. And it's still a big task. I mean, that's, it's not normal operations for FACTv. We still do our newscast every day. We do our Talking Fitchburg, and we do an update for the whole day. But it's still a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure all the staff meetings, all the meetings that are on TV, all the committees, they're working with us to make sure we get the invites out to the people who are going to come in via Zoom, who's going to be in person, who's going to be at, setting up the room, if there's any changes to the spaces. So it's what was a simple meeting of it's an agenda's out, we're going to have a meeting, show up if you want, or watch it on FACTv, is now a process, if you will, but a seamless process as we've continued to move through all of this.